Welcome into a rare Tuesday edition of Sports Den, episode number 2, covering the second week of high school sports in the North Metro region. I'm Bill Hupp. Football kicked off last weekend and all local teams were on the road, including Blaine, which visited White Bear Lake to take on the Bears. And it was all Bengals early on. Second quarter, A.J. Call goes play action to Tyler Terry down to the Bears' 8-yard line. Terry would lead the team with 3 catches for 59 yards in the game. Preston Myers would finish that drive from 5 yards out, dragging defenders in to give the Bengals a 7-0 lead. And then just before half, Call finds Jordan Reynolds, and the big wide receiver gets separation, steps out of a tackle for 6. They would miss the extra point and lead 13-0 at the half. In the third, another big pass play to Tony Huber gets it down to the 8-yard line. And Call goes up the gut with the quarterback keeper to make it 20-0 Bengals. But the home team would respond behind senior tailback Anthony Lewis Royal. He scores on the ground from 5 yards out to cut the lead to 20-7. Then linebacker Chris Heim catches a deflected pass, which would lead to this 1-yard touchdown rush by Lewis Royal early in the fourth. With under 2 minutes left, Connor Garrell hits big tight end Nick Sphere on this well-designed play, but he would be pushed out of bounds at the Bengals 1. That would set up Lewis Royal's 3rd rushing touchdown of the half, which would give White Bear Lake their first lead 21-20 with a minute to go. So the Bengals continue to attack through the air. Call keeps the play alive and is head up, hitting Myers in front of the Blaine bench for 49 yards down to the Bears' 29. And that would set the stage for girls soccer standout and commit Kendall Stadden. The future Gopher comes on and nails the game-winning field goal from 31 yards out as time expires to give the Bengals a thrilling 23-21 win in their opener. They had a 20-0 lead, and thanks to Kendall Stadden, they came back and earned a hard-fought victory on the road at White Bear Lake. A.J. Call, the star of the show, 14 of 27, 243 yards, a touchdown and an interception. Also ran in a touchdown. As you see, the majority of Blaine's passing of yardage came through the air. And again, they never come easy on the road, but Blaine pulls it out thanks to the heroics of Kendall Stadden and her 31-yard field goal at the gun. Spring Lake Park traveled to Concordia's Seafoam Stadium to welcome CDH to Class 5A. First quarter, Aaron Clausen takes the inside handoff and bursts right down Main Street to the end zone, picking up 65 of his 111 yards on the night. Early in the second quarter, Nick Ogile scores the first of his 2 rushing touchdowns of the quarter. SLP's defense even got into the act, forcing 3 first-half turnovers, including this fumble recovery. Quarterback Braden Talso immediately goes up top to Mikey Say on the hitch and go for 38 yards. And that would set up Ogile from inside the 5 again. Next drive, Nate Litke houses it from 37 yards out for the 4th of 5 rushing touchdowns by the Panthers. SLP piled up nearly 300 first-half yards. But just before half, the Raiders' Luke Floysand hit Santa Anatipa for a 20-yard touchdown strike to make it 27-6. Will Hader scored 3 short-yardage touchdowns to cut the Panthers' lead to 27-24. And SLP turned to Litke for breathing room late, broke a couple tackles on this 55-yard touchdown dash. And Seth Johnson sacks Floysand on a delayed blitz late to secure the Panthers a hard-fought 34-24 win on the road. With the win, Spring Lake Park moves up to number 8 in the Class 5A rankings, and there you see the grand totals: 300 yards of rushing, and Spring Lake Park getting it down on the ground, including Aaron Clausen with 111 yards on 14 carries, and Litke averaging 13 yards a carry, 124 on just 9 carries and a couple scores. So 5 rushing touchdowns, over 300 rushing yards, and Spring Lake Park doing what it does in their opening game, earning a nice victory on the road by double digits over a good Cretin-Derham Hall team. Stillwater was looking for revenge on Friday, facing a Centennial team that has handed them 2 straight season-ending losses. Late first quarter, Thomas Jacobs takes a Centennial punt and returns it 32 yards to give the Ponies good starting field position. They would take advantage of that gift with Mac Shikanjansky plunging in from a yard out early in the second quarter. He was looking to add to that total before halftime, but his bootleg was stopped short as the Cougar defense held it to a 1-score game at the half. Late in the fourth, the last chance for Centennial snuffed out by a Ponies interception. 3rd time's the charm for Stillwater, who shut out the Cougars in a defensive tussle, 7-0. And here you see the upcoming football schedules. Each team starting their first 2 games on the road in the 2021 season, and all 3 will have their first home games on September 17th. We'll have 2 of those games for you, Totino Grayson Centennial and Chanhassen Spring Lake Park, as all teams looking to bounce back. Volleyball also started last week, and Spring Lake Park hosted Roseville for their 2nd straight home match to kick things off. As the Roseville Raiders visit Spring Lake Park, Letitia Poore showing off a strong arm before the match. In the first set, Brooke Christensen tried but couldn't dig this one out. Panthers, I should say, holding tough. Sophia Molitor able to earn this point. Tied the set at 13, and the Panthers kept it close in the opening frame. But the Raiders would eventually pull away in that first set to earn a 25-19 win. SLP hung tough in the second set as well, as Kayla Hoiby records one of her 9 kills on the night. Set up beautifully, and she powers it down. But the Raiders were the first to 25 again, ultimately taking this one 25-16. Hoiby in the third set powers down another spike off the nice Maya Mortensen set, but ultimately it would not be enough as the Raiders close it out 25-20 to win the match 3-0. Panthers put up a fight, but fall to 0-2 on the young season. And here you see the upcoming volleyball schedules. Blaine hosting Coon Rapids later this week. Centennial hosting Maple Grove, a game that we'll have for you on North Metro TV. Myself and Blythe Whaley will be on the call. And Spring Lake Park, a couple road matches coming up at Irondale and then against the Elks the following day. It was a pool party in Circle Pines as Anoka visited Centennial. Cougars getting geared up, and they would start off as Centennial and junior Jordan Rugseger won this opening race, the girls' 200-yard medley relay, by nearly 5 seconds. Lauren Kaler finished runner-up to Anoka's Erin Nieses in the 200-yard varsity freestyle. 200-yard IM, Cougars freshman Rylan Robeck held off Allie Deal. Closest race of the night was the 50-yard freestyle, which Centennial's Jaden Rugseger won by 1/10 of a second over Hannah Halbeck of Anoka. 1-meter diving, impressive performance put on by first-year diver Kate Wolfel, who compiled an impressive 216.17 score over 6 dives to take home the title in 1-meter diving. So a lot of good young swimmers in this Centennial program. The future looks bright for the Cougars. Robeck would win her second race of the meet in a minute flat in the 100-yard butterfly. In the 100-yard freestyle, Allie Deal takes home the win for Anoka. Nieses continued her strong meet with a 15-second win over the Cougars' Lauren Kaler. She would also anchor the win for the Tornadoes in the 200-yard freestyle relay. Again, a comfortable win for Nieses. Kala Kamish earned a comfortable victory in the 100-yard backstroke for Centennial. And the Cougars' winning ways continued in the 100-yard breaststroke as Lauren Laura Ziebel edged Mackenzie Solberg for Anoka. And in the final race of the night, Nisus wins her fourth race to close out the meet, nipping Rugseger on the anchor leg for Anoka. But it wouldn't be enough as the Cougars weather the Tornadoes by a final of 98-88. Girls swimming, as you see the winning places and times. Centennial, a strong performance, taking home several first place medals, including 3 in the relays. A good battle, but ultimately the Cougars defend their home pool and come away with their first victory of the year. And here you see the swimming and diving schedules for each school coming up. Blaine will be at Rogers, Centennial visiting Maple Grove, and then to North Dakota to visit West Fargo. And Spring Lake Park will be hosting Andover, and then the Panther Invite coming up on Saturday, September 18th. Girls tennis results. Blaine was in action 3 times this week, and they handled Osseo comfortably, 7-0. Big wins at first singles for Molly Garber. Straight set wins for the first and second doubles pairing as well. And how about Shelly Sandberg at fourth singles, getting a 6-1, 6-1 victory. Blaine would defeat Anoka as well, 4-3, winning at first and third singles, including another straight set win for Molly Garber. How about that, 6-1, 6-0. And then winning at second and third doubles, and that just goes to show the importance of having depth throughout your lineup. First doubles loses in 3 sets, but the second and third doubles get the straight sets victories, and that ultimately made the difference for Blaine over Anoka. They also visited St. Cloud Tech. Garber again with a straight set victory, a little more difficult this time. A wild match at second doubles that Blaine lost ultimately. But a good battle, and again, Blaine winning at first and third singles. And here are the upcoming tennis schedules. Blaine hosting STMA. Centennial will host Champlin Park. Spring Lake Park, a couple home matches coming up, including at De La Salle and hosting Maple Grove. Big invite at East Ridge for Centennial. They'll see some good tennis there, no doubt. No boys soccer this week, but we will have some upcoming broadcasts. Of course, you see a couple games that were postponed, but several teams have already gotten multiple games in, including Centennial, who's off to a 2-1-1 start. They are visiting Armstrong and Elk River later this week. They've started out on the road for much of the season. Spring Lake Park, a nice run of home games for them, including Irondale, conference rival Maple Grove, and Roseville coming up. And the girls' soccer schedule. We'll also have girls' soccer. Centennial off to an undefeated start, scoring and playing strong defense. Blaine has dropped 3 straight, but they hope to get off the schneid against Totino Grace. And Spring Lake Park with a couple home games coming up against Maple Grove and Rogers. And here's our upcoming coverage schedule. As I said, Blythe Whaley and I will be on the call for Maple Grove at Centennial. In volleyball, girls tennis, St. Anthony at Spring Lake Park. Our first football broadcast of the year coming up on September 17th, Totino Grace at Centennial and Chanhassen at Spring Lake Park. That Chanhassen Spring Lake Park game will be streaming live on our YouTube channel. And Spring Lake Park at Centennial in boys soccer, and girls soccer, which we will have for you. You can visit northmetrotv.com for our full coverage schedule. All games are live on Comcast 859 and, of course, on our YouTube channel. So that'll do it for us tonight here at the Sports Den. We will be back to our regular Monday broadcast next week for episode 3. J.W. Cox will be alongside to share all of the exciting weekend's action from football, soccer, volleyball, swimming and diving, and more. In the meantime, for our entire crew, I'm Bill Hupp saying good night and thank you for watching.